Error.
Oh, shit.
Hello. My name is Annie Batchelder, and I've been a channel for over 30 years. So 5 years ago, I was introduced to the Akashic Records, which are the archive of your soul's entire journey. So it contains all the information that a soul has ever thought, said, or done. It's very, very complete, very thorough. The reason I like working in the Akashic Records is it's a soul-level information that's really about you, or it's really about me if I go into my own records. It's very precise. It's filled with love, filled with join us, say yes, it's a lovely day. It's really positive. The Akashic Records are really useful for releasing soul patterns, for bringing in new soul level energy and generating what's next. I have had the privilege of downloading whole classes and a 7-month course called the Akashic Wellness Program came through. I also downloaded a half-day course called Body Revelation, and that's very fun, very useful. Especially if you've had a lot of illnesses, injuries, or all of that. The Body Revelation, learning how every single physical impact that you've experienced in your lifetime is going towards your spiritual growth. And it's an urging on the part of your spirit to join the spirit more closely, to become more enamored and involved with your own light. Really be in your own light. Love your own light. Cherish your own light. So useful. Let's see. To download a whole class is just a remarkable experience. This is how I open your Akashic Records. And I follow the pathway prayer process that Linda Howe has developed. A marvelous author and teacher, certified in to teach her classes and to be an advanced teacher, so I can even teach healing through the Akashic Records. She's an amazing, amazing woman. I completely love and respect her work. So you might want to look her up on Amazon and get her book, How to Read the Akashic Records, Accessing the Archive of the Soul's Entire Journey. You can learn to read the Akashic Records through this too. And that's how I did it. I learned it through the book, and then I did her classes, and then I got certified as a teacher and whatnot. So the way I open records is I recite the pathway prayer process and include your legal name. And then the prayer opens the access to your masters, your teachers, and your loved ones. Now your masters have been with you since the inception of your soul. So when the great creator blinked you into existence as a thought form or as a creation, these masters, these beings of light, these wonderful beings of light, came to your side and are with you for your entire journey. And gosh knows what happens at the other end. But as soon as you're blinked into existence, they join you, and they're with you, participating with you, no matter what. Whether you're in a body or whether you're not in a body, or you decided to do some have a little journey to some lifetimes on a different planet, or really doesn't really matter. It's being with life over you. Now, your teachers are less specific. So the example I like to use is if I need a teacher about love or money or trust or guilt or some topic, then I will have a teacher for that topic, and that teacher will stay with me until I've learned all that teacher can teach me, and then that teacher goes on and on. Either could be very highly evolved beings or ascended masters like other Virgin Mary or Kuan Yin or the Buddha or you name it. Or they can just be very highly evolved beings with a great amount of light and doing a lot of good service. Because we're interesting to work with as students, don't you think? Now, your loved ones are people you've known in this lifetime who are now dead, and they are wanting to keep an eye on your progress or participate in some way. So they are with you for loving reasons. If there is something that needs to be completed with this person who has passed, then sometimes that will come through in a reading, if that is important. But it's whatever the words of the Akashic Records download to the masters, teachers, and loved ones, that is the most high, most important information that you need to have access to right now. That's what the reading's about. And your question, your well thought out, your well-formed questions are very important. Very important. And I think that it's better to do a reading where you have thought out what you want to ask in advance, perhaps even written it down or refined it a little, worked with the question, because questions are like can openers to me in Akashic Records. You get a good question going, and so the universe just opens up and the information flows and the energy changes and the shift can really, really happen. And so it's preparation for your own best and highest experience by formatting and formulating the questions that you really want to know. But the best questions start with what, why, and how, because those three questions really bring forth the greatest amount of energy and information and open the record up to more than just, yes or no questions, for instance. Yes or no questions are good, but they don't really give you a whole lot of depth or background or energy. The Akashic Records, in the Akashic Records, it's energy first, information second. So you will experience a lot of shifts and adjustments in the chakras, or there are sensations that you may have while you're in the shift that are very precise and very evident. And part of my job as the Akashic Records reader is to to transmit to you and to describe for you what I'm experiencing and what you may be experiencing also. Many, many times when I say, well, did you feel that? Your crown chakra's buzzing, or did you get that thing that went over there? And the little adjustment there. I will report those kinds of things so that you know what's going on in your reading, and so that we can kind of link up with that shared experience. And you'll be getting the transmission. I get a lot of visual. I hear words or specifics that have to be said in the Akashic Records. And from your masters, teachers, and loved ones. I get body sensations, if I get a pain in the neck and somewhere in here just a little bit for a brief moment, that means ask about the neck. If I am pointed to the abdomen or something like that, I might be inviting influence to ask you if there's something on the digestion, or if you feel that you're digesting the food fully or correctly or receiving the nutrients there, that sort of thing. That would be really good for you to look at it in the Akashic Records because it's showing up. But I get those sensations along with visual, audio things. And then there's this sense of knowing that this information is correct and that information is done or this information is in what is needed to be transmitted, or this other information isn't really there or is not very energetic and energized, that sort of thing. And the prayer is in a couple of different sections, and some of it is out loud and some is silent. And your job while I'm opening your Akashic Records is to go through the process, have the experience you're having, just let the word wash over you and through you. There is a change in consciousness when I open your Akashic Records, or I recite the prayer and I bring in the Master one to help us in this undertaking, in this inquiry. That shifting consciousness allows you to make an energetic adjustment in your grid work, in your energy system, that maybe just release you from some patterns or a past lifetime that was really influencing, or a series of past lifetimes where perhaps you have a lot of bad deaths or difficult things, and it's hard for you to complete things in this life. We can look at that, and exploring that will lift that unwanted energy off of you. Really. It's wonderful. There's a long section of at the end of the prayer that is silent, where I'm praying silently as a part of the process of focusing. And then I will say out loud the record. And then generally it's basically a conversation between the two of us, involving your questions or anything that I've experienced in the process of opening your records. Some critical things kind of get revealed in the process of opening your Akashic Records, of reciting this prayer and creating this shift in consciousness and experiencing it. There will be some things that come through oftentimes that are really key to why you came to get a reading, why you wanted to have the record open, why you wanted to work in the Akashic Records to get some information. So what I thought was I would open my record, and you can watch how this prayer works. And I'm specifically going to ask about what is the nature of the divine self. I'm going to ask, why is it important at this point in development to know about and work with the divine self? And what is the difference between the divine self and the soul? These are the three questions I'm going to work on today in the video. All right. Just centering myself in the core of light guidance. And here is the prayer. so we do acknowledge the forces of life, asking for guidance, direction, and courage to know the truth as it is revealed for our highest and the highest good of everyone and its good. O Holy Spirit of God, protect me from all forms of hostility and direct my to the work at my hand. Help me to know myself in the light of the Akashic, to see myself through the eyes of the Lord of the Record, and enable me to share the wisdom and compassion that the Masters, teachers, and loved ones of me. The records are now open. Using the information from my Akashic Records. So be able to track the energy more specifically. Okay. So the first question is, what is the nature of the divine self? The nature of the divine self is that core light that you are, that essence that you are, that spark that was brought into existence when the Creator created you in particular, or you in specific. The divine self is an energetic field that is really quite large. It can shrink down to just outside your soul and the space inside your, around your body and within your body that the soul picked up. But it also gets as large as beyond that, and I'm seeing it beyond that for anywhere from 30 feet to half a mile. It can get that large. It is also a consciousness that allows you to travel in space or to move between layers of consciousness and to experience other consciousnesses or other states of consciousness and other forms of consciousness. The divine self is a highly evolved part of who you are, and it generates this core of light all within the body. It is that light. It is that radiance. It is that fullness. It is that purity. It is a very complete energy being. And the interesting part about the divine self is that it is forced in the permanent atom of light. And the permanent atom of light is that spark of light that is usually in the trunk of the body, although it moves around wherever it needs to be. But I generally find it in the trunk of the body. And that permanent atom of light, when it comes into focus, just opens up into the divine self and becomes this radiant field of light that is quite explicit. It's large, it's clear. It's a state of purity and knowingness and calmness that feels so people very so. There is a strong light. Now the nature of the divine is it is truly the I am thing. It is beyond singularity or individuality. It is fully embraced within the great consciousness, the oneness consciousness, the force consciousness. It is not centered by issues of the personality or the humanity. It is unlimited in authority and power and creativity. It is marvelous when accessed for the purpose of manifesting. In fact, since it's a high state, it is excellent for manifesting or bringing forth a state of good feeling that is receptive to having what you want and filling the clamors of the human mind or the human obstacles or limitations. The divine self is truly the state of the perfection of being, and it is also very enhancing to the soul's purpose. In fact, they cannot really be separated. It's actually the driving motivation for the soul's purpose. And since it is so embedded within the oneness, there is enormous love and acceptance experienced in the divine. It is also a very healed place. If you want to heal a pain or a strain or a physical issue, this is where you would master the saying, is God speaking to this body and this body part and commanding that all healing happen immediately, effectively, thoroughly, and completely. What is the relationship between the soul and the divine self? It's a little familial as the way they're showing it to me right now. That I'm kind of like the younger sister that needs guidance. The soul is the younger sister that needs guidance. And the divine self is the one doing the guidance. The divine self is the one that embodies the wisdom, that has already experienced all that the soul is working on and toward, in evolving and changing and growing. The divine self is often connected closely to the beings of light, the masters of light who are with the soul through its journey. And as is often the case in my experience, having channeled for so many years, that the guides and the beings of light work together in concert, and they each provide a certain quality or vibration or frequency that is of assistance to you, and then they also may layer themselves vertically so that the energy of the highest guide, the highest being of light, is transmitted down to a slightly lesser being of light, which transmits the energy down to the next level lower, and that so that the human can perceive and experience and know the information or experience or energy. And things are always larger and more creative in groups. So the effect is larger, the purpose is larger. Everything about the activity and the consciousness is enhanced or made larger. And I'm getting a lot of sensation on this side of my head and my crown chakra, and I can feel the energies working on my brain and how things are connected on my brain, and how the energies working inside my thought right now. Interesting. The relationship between the soul and the divine self is the soul can work through the divine self to move upward into different levels of light and up into different levels of consciousness. The divine self is often helping the soul to reach higher, to expand farther, or to reach new heights, and to grow or provide an expansive experience so that the soul has a new level to reach out from and to modify its purposes accordingly. The soul, whose purpose is to guide the human being in its development as well, is guided and the different energy coming in. I'm very in that table for what is being transmitted. Okay. The soul is being guided by the divine self and the cohorts of the divine self, master teachers, and that's what all these influences too. It all goes through the divine self as a way to get to the soul and to the human. And bringing in the soul energy naturally accordingly contain an element of the divine self, no matter what. One other question I wanted to answer. I should have written my town tonight. The divine self, its purpose is to help raise the light and the consciousness of humanity, to raise the vibration, to raise the expectation of authority and power and wholeness and achievability in the soul and the human being. The divine self is so good at providing solutions, instantaneous hints and little adjustments in behavior, or a side track into it was this way, better, and it moves really, really smooth the way for the soul and then to grow and learn and express and fulfill its purpose in being a light being and knowing itself as light. All right. Now just extend my life for anything comes to life. Me or the people listening to this. There is such love for you in the community of light being. Always, always so supportive, so gentle, so precise, so allowing, so understanding, so freeing. These being with you for all the right reasons and enhance your ability and support your path and often put the pillow underneath your head so that you have a good sleep. Often bring peace and restore you to serenity. Now time to close. So I will use a small prayer at the end to close the record. And this will close the sanctified space that we've been in that reading. I'd like to thank the masters, teachers, and loved ones for their love and compassion. I would like to thank the Lords of the Akashic Records for their point of view. And I would like to thank the Holy Spirit of light for all knowledge and healing. The records are now closed. Amen. The records are now closed. Amen. The records are now closed. Amen. I thank you for being with me. My pleasure to be here with you. May your journey be loving and wonderful. Venus.